Alright, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. Day 347 at sea. No land in sight. We don't know when we're gonna see land, food, water. Psych, just kidding guys. We're on a cruise, we're having fun, celebrating Amanda's 30th birthday. So I hope you guys are having a blessed evening right now. This is outrageous though. Absolutely crazy. We got some big news to talk about in this video. What's happening for XRP? What's happening for Chainlink? What's happening for the total cryptocurrency market right now that you guys need to know? The Rothschilds, also the lawsuit, and Ripple payments to go live in the United States. So if you're feeling bullish, if you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button, tapping that like button. Let's run it.
We're also, as you know, investing heavily right now in building a new settlement system for instant payments in the U.S. It'll be the first such major expansion of our core payment system since the 1970s. We found the case for this quite compelling for consumers, businesses, and just ensuring that all financial institutions have access to the payment system.
All right, bull runners, welcome back. So as you guys know, Jerome Powell talking about FedNow, instant payments, instant settlement system inside the United States. So could he be talking about XRP without mentioning XRP? Here's one thing that's interesting when we connect the dots here. Oliver Segovia, who's the head of product marketing at Ripple, announced that Ripple is set to unveil a series of product updates, and these upgrades will utilize Ripple's money transmitter license and target the majority of US states and banks inside the United States. He's saying after being relatively quiet for the past 3 years in the US for Ripple payments, we're geared up to announce new product updates powered by our money transmitter license that covers majority of the states. And so with these big banks, jumping on board and getting ready for distributed ledger technology, the SEC is adopting a node from the XRP ledger. Listen to this.
XRP sits, as I said, on an open, permissionless ledger. How do I know that it's open and permissionless? Because the chief technology officer at Ripple tells me it is. He explains it to me, but I also have hard evidence. The SEC announced about a month or two ago that they're going to establish a node on the XRP ledger and other open and permissionless ledgers. The SEC didn't call Ripple to ask permission to do that. They're just going to do that.
So the SEC lost the lawsuit. They're adopting a node from the XRP ledger, and the SEC Gov, they won the motion to compel Ripple, though, to produce its 2022 to 2023 financial statements, post-complaint contracts governing institutional sales of XRP, and answer questions regarding the amount of XRP institutional sales proceeds it receives. So what this means is they're going to receive financial documents, see how much Ripple made when they sold XRP, because as you guys know, Ripple lost part of the lawsuit. They won the other part of the lawsuit that was the most important part. The part that they lost was where they sold XRP to institutional clients. That constituted as securities for how it was sold, but the important part that they won was XRP on the secondary market is not a security. So, when you're buying or selling spot or whatever for XRP on an exchange, it's not a security, which is super important because all Ripple's going to have to do is pay a fine, and they're going to continue to do business as usual. So all of these banks are gearing up, all these companies are gearing up, and come April is when we most likely will see, this resolution come to conclusion. Although there could be some little things back and forth that could extend this, them replying to each other's letters, all of that stuff. That's usually how court cases work. They just go back and forth for an extended period of time. But once this is over, really think about how far that is away is, guys. We're in February, March, April. That's 3 months. So if you've been holding this entire time over the past 2 to 3 years during the whole entire lawsuit, what's another 3 months? And then, leading into 2025, when I share with you guys the total crypto market cap towards the end of this video, it'll explain what I'm expecting for the rest of this bull run and why we're just getting started. And so as you guys know, this is election year, so towards the end of the year, we're going to see a lot of craziness happening in the streets, a lot of rioting, if Biden wins again. But if Trump wins, what happens to Gary Gensler? That's the big question, because SEC chairmen, they normally submit their resignations promptly after a presidential election, resulting in a change of party. And after the November 2020 election, Jay Clayton, who was a Trump appointee, promptly resigned both as SEC chairman and as commissioner in order to give the incoming president Joe Biden the opportunity to name his own SEC chairman, and B, to make room for the traditional 3-2 majority of commissioner in favor of the party holding the presidency. So Gary Gensler's 5-year term as an SEC commissioner would naturally expire in 2026. So in the event, a Republican or RFK Jr. wins in November 2024, the question then becomes, will Gary Gensler follow the long-standing SEC tradition and promptly submit his resignation? I mean, that would be the best Christmas ever for everyone in the crypto space to hear that news. Because if Trump were to be the Republican nominee and win, one could only imagine, guys, some resistance to norms of behavior by appointing officials like Gary Gensler. So, this was posted by Metal Lawman, and he said that if he were to win, he doesn't recall any situation where a president had to resort to removing an SEC commissioner for cause in a change of administration scenario. So why would this matter? Well, he expects there would still be a significant amount of litigation pending against crypto firms at the end of the year. A new chairperson with a 3-2 Republican majority could change positions the SEC has taken in crypto litigation, including, promptly settling cases on reasonable terms and filing outright dismissals of cases where the SEC under Gary Gensler has taken positions that conflict with existing securities laws. So if Hester Pierce were to be selected as interim chairperson, she would already be fully up to speed on all these cases and could relatively quickly execute a course correction. And so eventually, with Gary Gensler gone, that would mean good news for the crypto space, but they're going to be regulating the space regardless. And here's what you guys need to prepare for, because this just in, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen asked Congress to regulate crypto assets that are not securities. So she's talking about XRP without directly talking about XRP. Listen to this.
Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Applicable rules and regulations should be enforced, and Congress should pass legislation to provide for the regulation of stablecoins and of the spot market for crypto assets that are not securities. We look forward to continuing to engage with Congress on this.
And so stablecoins that are not securities. Now, everybody knows that XRP is not a security, but a stablecoin? What would make it a stablecoin? Well, on the worldbank.org official website, stablecoins for cross-border payments, they mention XRP right here on it. So, relatively stable in terms of their price. So could XRP be revalued, guys? That's a big question that everyone wants to know, because we've been talking about the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, creating a precious metal-backed, commodity-backed currency, and a reevaluation of gold could be happening in the near future, because gold has yet to pass its all-time high, and eventually gold will be upwards of, $5,000, $10,000 per ounce within our lifetime. And so what could be back to gold, because the US dollar was taken off the gold standard in 1971 and was back to the petrodollar, petroleum, and then credit card debt started escalating, quantitative easing started coming into play in 2008, and the dollar just went off the rails on the crazy train. And so, crypto was created around the same time, right? Bitcoin around the same time as the 2008 financial crisis. And when I showed you guys in a previous video the Federal Reserve's balance sheet on how much money they started putting in to the economy through QE, quantitative easing, it was in 2008, around the exact same time that Bitcoin was created. And so this is all part of the plan. This is all part of their system to usher in the new world order, and crypto, specifically blockchain and distributed ledger technology, is going to be the future. Now, we're still early, but this could be the last bull run that you guys see significant gains like these, because when we talk about stable coins like XRP being a stable coin, well, if XRP is revalued, you don't want to be buying XRP at a $5, $10, $15, $20 price. So looking on the left hand side of the screen, we're waiting for Bitcoin to break the high of January of 2024, and when that will happen, I personally have shared that in previous videos. I could be wrong here. So far we're pretty spot on. We're just waiting for one final breakdown to the downside before Bitcoin's halving, and then 6 to 12 months after Bitcoin's halving is when we're expecting Bitcoin to go. So for people to get pissed off that XRP is being suppressed right now, sitting at 50 cents, I know it's outrageous, guys. It sucks. We all want to wake up tomorrow and have millions of dollars in our portfolios from XRP. Obviously we stay diversified, holding other projects like Chainlink, I talked about the breakout for Chainlink going into phase E of the Wyckoff accumulation, breaking out. Guys, I could see Chainlink going into the hundreds of dollars for this bull run cycle. If I were to draw the Fibonacci retracement tool from the high down to the low before I go back to the XRP chart, a full extension would be $212, $210. So for Chainlink sitting at $18 right now, I think it's drastically undervalued. Now, it doesn't mean it's just going to go up right away, and there's no guarantees that any of this will happen, guys. No financial advice. Don't buy, don't sell anything that I'm talking about. Go consult your financial advisor. I just show people where billions of dollars are going to be moving in the future, in the near term and the long term, and then we show you guys the micro market cycles, the macro market cycles. And so in the micro, I want to show you guys what's going to happen. In the macro, we're going to the beaches of the moon. Chainlink is going to do very, very well. This is a 10x to get to a full extension, guys. And so Chainlink is one of the safest plays in crypto in terms of adoption. A lot of other projects are most likely going to go away. 99% of crypto is going to get absolutely destroyed during regulation because the majority of this industry is an outright scam. It's ludicrous and it deserves to go away completely. And that's just the facts. Whereas projects like Chainlink, XRP, you see Bitcoin, and then there's a bunch of others that I'm bullish on that I'll make other videos about that are a part of the system for the New World Order, for their plan, for what they're doing with ISO 222. And so when we look at XRP sitting at 50 cents, what we're waiting for is a massive breakout in the overall total market cap, starting with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is still hovering at this upward trending resistance right here. As you guys can see, it was support, it broke down. Now it's back testing it. If you guys didn't watch my video the past few days, go watch it. I talk about this back test in the past few market cycles. When we've seen this back test, we see a breakdown to the downside. Now, the real question is, will it happen again? If it happened multiple times in the past, what is the likelihood of it happening again? Because, of course, it could happen again, but what's the likelihood of it happening again? That's the real question. Because looking at this downward trending resistance right here on the RSI, we're sitting at 54. Well, if we don't break to the upside of this resistance and hold it as support and we get rejected, we're more than likely coming back down to 30 on the RSI. Now, if we come back down to 30 on the RSI for Bitcoin, I would expect XRP to bleed out as well too, because liquidity would be sucked out of the entire market of the whole crypto industry. Because if Bitcoin is bearish, well then fear elevates. When fear elevates, people move money out of altcoins. And so XRP is sitting at 39 on the RSI. We also see this falling wedge in this descending resistance on the RSI. We're just barely breaking out from this. And if we don't see a surge in XRP soon, then one final shakeout event for XRP to come down below 30 is what I would expect to happen. And for XRP's price to go downwards of 45, 46 cents around here before we see a rally back up within this range to this descending resistance right here of about 54, 55 cents within this range. And then depending on where we are for Bitcoin, I'll be making more videos ongoing, letting you guys know my thoughts. But in the short term, I think Bitcoin is just going to hover around here, maybe push a little bit higher. I think we could come back up to 44, 45K to this upward trending resistance, because when you guys see an upward trending resistance and we move from left to right on the chart, it extends up. That means the price could go anywhere from $45,000, $46,000, depending on how long it takes before we roll over on the other side and come back down to back test, 38, 39K. And if we don't hold $38,500-ish dollars, if we don't hold that, the next stop to the downside is like $35,000. So leading into Bitcoin's halving, this is what I would expect to happen. And I honestly hope that it happens, because I would like to see Bitcoin on the RSI below 30 before I start buying more crypto. Now, in terms of Chainlink, Chainlink is on the RSI. If we pull this up right here, we can see that we're at 66 right now. We just barely breached above 70. So if Bitcoin were to see a sell-off, if that money doesn't get moved into a project like Chainlink, because money moves in and out of different projects. And so even if Bitcoin sells off, we could see some of that money flow into certain altcoins. And so it's very tough to know which altcoins that will move into, because let's say you're a billionaire and you want to sell off like, $1 billion or $2 billion, and you want to move it into something else, you're not going to tell anyone what that is. And so it's virtually impossible to predict that. We just have to look at key indicators on when projects are overbought and oversold. And right now, I'm not entering into Chainlink, even though I don't think it's bad for the long term, but I accumulated Chainlink down at $6 to $8 down here, where I think a smarter project to be looking at would be XRP, because we're sitting at 39 on the RSI and we've been heavily suppressed for an extended period of time. And so the larger the base, the longer in space for XRP. So this base has been building momentum and pressure since June 20th of 2022. Now, looking at the total 2, which is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, we can see if the altcoin market cap were to break down with Bitcoin, we could see a back test of roughly $670 billion, which was the resistance back here in April of 2023. It was also resistance back in August of 2022. It was also resistance back here from November to December of 2023. And so this happened, if I trace up this chart, it almost looks identical to what's happening right now for one final back test, and then for us to work our way out of here post Bitcoin's halving going into the tail end of 2024. Then we go absolutely parabolic beyond $1 trillion market cap, and then we break beyond the all-time high, which is roughly $1.7 trillion excluding Bitcoin. So because when I go back here, that's exactly what happened the last bull run cycle. And these cycles like to repeat. So if I were to draw this horizontal rectangle right here to show you guys the resistance from 2019's DeFi summer, this is what it looked like, where the chart, rallied out from COVID. We broke above the resistance. We came down to backtest it. We backtested it twice, and then we just kind of hovered at it while grinding upwards. And then we worked our way out of here, backtested the previous range as support right here. And then we broke out from this stage right here in the tail end of 2020. And so we could do something very, very similar. So for people to say that this time is different, not really. Every single cycle plays out generally similar in terms of time frames. Now, of course, the charts are going to look a little bit different because, the 2019 resistance was a little bit higher. And then we saw the second time that it tried to come back up to it was right here at like 13th of February. It didn't quite make it to it. So there's going to be points where we either do come back down to back test or we come close enough. And so arguably this first wick and this second wick that came all the way down on the 2nd of January, beginning of the year, and then also on the 25th of January, could be the last lows that we see. We could be working our way out of here right now. We could just do something like this and just work our way up. But if you guys want to know when the second best time to back up the truck is, look at the RSI. We're sitting at 52, and we also have this descending resistance right here. So if we get rejected from this descending resistance and we come back down below 30, what does that mean? It means we're oversold. So I'm going to be backing up the truck more than ever before. If we're below 30 here on the total 2, so you can go to TradingView, you go to crypto, you type in total 2, it's the entire altcoin market cap, Ethereum, XRP, every single altcoin minus Bitcoin. So if you guys want to create generational wealth, watch this chart right here. Also, if you want to create generational wealth and know which projects we're the most bullish on before we make videos about them, all you have to do is go to bullrunners.com. The link will be in the description below. You'll discover our top altcoin picks first, and you'll get early bird access to our financial education platform when that's released. You don't need to have any crypto trading experience. All you need to do right now is click the button below, put in your best email address. It's free to do so. You get instant access to our Telegram group, and you'll be notified first when we drop our Inner Circle financial education platform. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this video, tap the subscribe button, because we're backing up our truck, or we're backing up the boat all the way to the dock, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bag left behind, because the spending power of the dollar going down, crypto going up, and together we're all going camping on the beaches of the moon. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, stay bullish.